Hello, this is Elena in my channel Enough. Today we have interesting topic. I didn't originally plan to talk about it, but turned out to be it's very important. We're gonna talk today about the famous tweet of Elon Musk about Ukraine and about Crimea. And I will look at it on the little bit different point of view, on the different angle, which is make it extremely important for all of us. Why it is dangerous to say stuff like that. And we'll find out about it soon enough. I'll show you the tweet. I'll explain to you what it means a little later in the end of this video. But the main conversation would be about why this is kind of like a bomb. It's like put a bomb underneath of your chair. It's like smoking when you're sitting on a gunpowder, on a barrel with a gunpowder. Or you lit a match and kaboom. And this is why it is playing in Putin's hands, stuff like that. And I'll explain you why it is and why we shouldn't do that. None of us, especially such an important people with lots of subscribers, lots of people who interested in what you have to say, like Elon Musk. I believe you all know who Elon Musk is, so I won't explain. In my opinion, he is very intelligent businessman, very intelligent man. He achieved a lot, more than any average person on this planet, because he single-handedly basically sent people into space. And as to the war in Ukraine, Elon Musk helped in Ukraine a lot. He also single-handedly helped Ukraine more than majority of us. That is why it's so dangerous when such an important and famous people like Elon Musk saying something wrong. And as to me, you can watch video about me or a video about guide to my channel, and you will find out who I am. I am economist in the past, and I used to teach in several Russian universities, and I'm an expert on Russian-Ukrainian relations since 2013 and until now. And I have a lot of information about Russian-Ukrainian war, which I was collecting for many years. But neither me nor Elon Musk should be authority to you. You should verify information coming from all people. And if somebody famous like Elon Musk said something which he doesn't know what he's talking about, he still can be wrong and he still can say a stupid thing. Even smart people can say something which isn't smart or right. That is why you have to exercise your critical thinking and verify information. That is why I, on my channel, explaining situations and the war in Ukraine, and I provide the proofs and facts, which you're welcome to go and verify. And now, let's talk about why it's dangerous to smoke on gunpowder barrel. You would be surprised to see the ancient view on the world. As you can see, it's a tortoise, a turtle, with 4 elephants holding the world. And this is how people in the past looked at the world. If to think closely about it and not use geography, this video is not about geography, and it's not a bait and switch and so on. You will find out what I have to say in a minute. They wasn't all that wrong. The world of democratic countries, successful countries, like United States, like Canada, like Australia, like countries of European Union, it's basically look like this. One of the elephants we will call law. The world standing on the law, on the rule of law. In the past, centuries ago, when the law was very one-sided, it's only protected the rich and famous, and not as much famous. There was no that famous people back then. It was protecting rich, it was protecting strong, and basically the might was right. But it was centuries ago. That is why successful countries walk away from that. And they created laws which protecting everyone. And this is one elephant on which world is standing. Another elephant is private property. The law protects private property. You can own property. Everyone can own property. It's not like in the past, women couldn't own property, black people couldn't own property in some countries, and so on. Everyone can own property now, and it's protected by the law. It says that nobody can come and take your house from you. Nobody can come and say, well, this car is now mine. Give me the key, and I wouldn't use impolite word. Politely say, go away. And that is why some country cannot come to another country until Putin just did it with Ukraine and say, well, this land is mine. Go away. Just because I say so. Another important elephant is the freedom of speech. And as well, right to have an opposition. And democratic countries has an opposition. You elect one party, but there are opposition party and there are other parties which you can elect next time. And there are parties who didn't make election this time, but they're gonna be maybe elected next time. And for that, it's very important to have freedom of speech, independent media, which is a lot in every country, and undermining that, it means killing this elephant or that elephant. It means the world gonna collapse. It's almost happened in the United States recently. This is why for Putin is so important to undermine opposition. In some other countries, he completely destroyed opposition in his country by killing them like he killed politician Boris Nemtsov, or imprisoned them like he imprisoned politician Navalny. That is why freedom of speech and opposition is important, because the world gonna collapse. Another one elephant is respect. You're supposed to respect other people. Children in Canadian schools, for instance, my son was in Canadian school, they're learning respect others, respect yourself, respect property. You don't go damaging school property, you don't damage country property, you don't damage other people's property, and most of all, you don't damage other people. You cannot do that. This is why it is important. And one of the most important things is trust. All of it is standing on the trust. People trust their government, people trust that the law gonna be obeyed, people trust that their rights are protected. And if this total gonna move and balance would be broken, the whole world gonna collapse. That is why it is important to trust the government you elected, trust the system which you working with, how you electing your government. This is why trust is important on the stock market. It's important on every market. You trust your other businessmen. You selling somebody goods, you trust that you're gonna get paid. This is what was broken in Russia in the 90s. When I worked, people didn't trust even their own government, because government said you're gonna do the job to the government company doing the job, and the government doesn't pay to the people who work in that company for months at a time. People go to work, do the job, and they didn't get paid. I was witness it myself. So when you started to remove either elephants from underneath of the world or a trust, your world collapses. That's what Putin wants. He wants to destroy trust as much as possible, make you distrust your government, distrust your media, distrust your neighbors, to collapse this world, because he can't make a good life in Russia for people, because he corrupted politician, he is a bully and a murderer, and he wants to keep his power by any means. One way is to build good life in your country and make people want it to elect you over and over again, and another way is make life in other countries bad. Make sure that these countries not succeed and collapse. eventually. And showing the people in your country, look, it could be worse in other countries. For that he creating propaganda and lies. The same thing did USSR. You think now is bad, but people who lived when USSR was strong, they can say that they were afraid of nuclear strikes and USSR was bribing their politicians and did lots of things. Many of it Putin does now, but not at the scale of USSR did. So that is why it is important to keep all of this, to be able to live good life, which we have in civilized countries. That's why when somebody questioning the law, international law, questioning the borders of the countries, this is they killing and shooting and killing one of the elephants who hold in the world. And that is why playing on the hands of this kind of monsters is not a good thing. Because by his tweet, which this one, Elon Musk says, Ukraine-Russia peace. Redo elections of annexed regions under UN supervision. Russia leaves if this is the will of the people. This is wrong. Crimea, formerly part of Russia, as it has been since 1783 until Khrushchev's mistake. This is one of the key wrong things, which Elon Musk says. Water supply to Crimea assured. Ukraine remains neutral. None of it is true. None of it is a good idea. Because it's based on a wrong assumptions. It's based on ignorance of Mr. Musk about the matter. And I'm not saying he's stupid or anything. None of us know everything. Elon Musk knows a lot of things, way more than I do in many other subjects, but not on this one. Let's talk about Crimea, a couple things. Crimea is this peninsula, which is in the Black Sea, part of Ukraine. If to look even in Wikipedia about Crimea, and that's what Musk is saying, Crimean Khanate, it was since 1443 to 1783. And Elon Musk saying that since 1783 it was part of Russian Empire until it became part of Ukrainian USSR, one of the republics in USSR in 1954. Well, if you're removing elephants from underneath of the globe, that's what happens when you start questioning history. Not history, but up to this point in time, the laws are made. The world order is established. There are laws which say that Crimea is a part of Ukraine. And everybody was agree with it. They signed Budapest Memorandum, United States, Great Britain, and Ukraine, and saying that Ukraine gonna give up the biggest stockpile, one of the biggest stockpile of the nuclear weapons to Russia, in exchange that United States and UK gonna protect Crimea, and Russia gonna protect Crimean borders, and they were all agreed where the borders are with the Crimea inside Ukraine. On my channel, I showing you even Putin personally saying that he's agree with the borders of Ukraine and Crimea is a part of Ukraine and there is no problem with that at all. So if to look at Crimean history, for instance, it was over 300 years part of Crimean Khanate, which is basically Mongols, or eventually Ottoman Empire, which is Turkey. And it was belong to Russia in Russian Empire from 1783 to 1954, less than 200 years, 170 years. So how far in history you should go to decide whose Crimea is supposed to belong to if you decided to rebuild the world order, if you decided to throw that law in the garbage, and how much you can go to questioning borders of every other country. Okay, tomorrow United Kingdom would say, well, let's think about it carefully. Well, my colonies, Canada, United States, Australia, go back to me real quick now, because I feel like changing the law, and I don't care you had a revolution in the United States. Who cares? The law changed now. I decided that you're gonna be my colony again. I don't see why would they want it, but they can. If the whole law thrown in the garbage, the borders doesn't mean anything now. Let's see, France will remember that under the Napoleon rule, they had claims to a whole bunch of places and territories. Why wouldn't they get it back? Oh, Spain might decide, ha, we used to own this and that. Maybe we should get it back. So basically the whole world order will be thrown in the garbage. And what it gonna give us? Another 100 years war between England and France? I mean United Kingdom and France, for instance? Or the war between Sweden and Russia? Or the war between Turkey and Russia? They had lots of wars between themselves. So this world order which we have, to destroy it like that, just because everybody started to think, well, let's see, and how far we should go? 200 years? 300 years? 1,000 years? If to go very far, Russia used to belong to Ukraine in the past. There was no Russia. There was only Kiev and Rus, which was center was in Kiev. Kiev is the capital of the modern day Ukraine. So it's plain stupid. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever to do any of this. Let's see about elections of our next regions. What elections? As you can see, if you will see on my channel, you will see the facts about how the referendum in Crimea happened. And now Putin even annexed even more territories. Well, okay, if that's the case, well, I'm from Canada. Let's see what Canada might benefit from. Let's attach to Canada, I don't know, Florida. Well, no. Florida is fine, but I kind of like California better. Well, let's say California now part of Canada. Northern California part of Russia. It used to be Russian. There is even Fort Rosen there, which I have personally been in. But let's talk about Canada. Let's see, Canada decided, okay, California is now part of Canada. You're welcome, Californians. You're gonna be part of great country. I love Canada dearly. Are you happy now? Oh, you saying there is no Canadian troops in California? Well, who cares? There are no Russian troops in Zaporozhye, city of Zaporozhye in Ukraine, yet Putin now annexing Zaporozhye region, the whole region. Big chunk of it which he doesn't even control and never did. But he decided it's a good idea. Why not? Another part of this tweet is and about elections in Crimea and so on, but referendum and so on. I have a video who is responsible for war in Donbass, and I'm talking about Crimea in here. You can watch that video. Maybe sometime I'll make shorter video about the war in Ukraine with more information in a shorter video, but this is an example. There was a poll done several times in several years, as you can see, 2011, 2013. And despite that majority considered themselves, many people consider themselves Russians in Crimea, both times they voted like 67% in 2013 that they want Crimea should be part of Ukraine. With different, it could be autonomy in Ukraine, common oblast of Ukraine or a region, Crimean Tatar autonomy, but they all wanted to be inside of Ukraine, and only 23% wanted it to be part of Russia, which is this piece. So there was no reason whatsoever for Crimea to be part of Russia. Why would that be? There is no reason. Because this is what really people thought, without putting gun to their head, what should have happened to Crimea. So again, Musk doesn't have a point because he doesn't know about it. That is why I made my channel, which... and Ukraine remained neutral. Ukraine didn't want to be part of NATO. In the first, before it was attacked by Russia in 2014, Ukraine didn't want to be part of NATO. They didn't even talk about it. All they wanted to have a trade with Europe. That's all. So the problem is when famous people like Elon Musk saying that stuff like that. Lots of people listen to them because they think if they're smart about something else, they really know everything. It's not true. This is Ron, and it has 2.7 million votes and lots of views. Please, important people and Elon Musk, please educate yourself. That is why I created my channel. You're welcome to go and see playlist, for instance, saying important to know about the war in Ukraine. And like that one. Important to know about the war in Ukraine. It is in English. Lots of information there. There is a statement of Putin that Crimea is a part of Ukraine. There is a Russian FSB officer, Strelkov, is telling about how, under gunpoint, they were dragging Ukrainian parliament members to the room to vote that they need a referendum in Crimea to be annexed to Russia, and so on. So this is lots of information here. There is playlist War in Ukraine. There is playlist in English. The whole videos all in English. It's in two languages, in English and in Russian. This is information about me. So please educate yourself. Please help Ukraine to win this war. Because many people, good people in the world, who doesn't know much about the war in Ukraine are thinking that maybe if Ukraine gives something to Putin, it will stop the war. It could have worked in the first week of the war, not now. Right now, Putin will kill all the Ukrainians if he will be able to. And right now, right from Russian territory, this city of Kharkiv, for instance, getting shot about 230 days in a year from Russian territory and so on. So when you're thinking about should we give Ukraine weapons with a long range, what's gonna happen? So Russia is already shooting peaceful civilians in Ukraine for no reason whatsoever besides Putin's ego from Russian territory. Ukraine is defending itself. Ukraine did not start that war. Neither Ukraine, no NATO, nor any other countries has a fault in this war. It's only fault of Putin, which I have proven on my channel, and you're welcome to find out. Please educate yourself, please help Ukraine, and please remember that Elon Musk should go into history as a person who helped Ukraine, who helped civilization and humankind, not the person who wrote that not well thought out tweet and did a mistake. So I don't blame him. I just hope he will find out more about the situation and he would stop talking to Putin directly. I understand that he is afraid that maybe Putin will shoot a bunch of satellites, but Putin incapable of doing it. He's lying, he can. Maximum he can knock down a couple satellites. That's about it. But even if he does, the world should not allow Putin to blackmail us, because otherwise might as well give Putin the whole world. If that's the way it's supposed to be, well, then roll over and let Putin do whatever he wants. Putin must be stopped. Period. He will not stop by himself. Please help Ukraine to stop Putin. Thank you for your attention and have a great day.